All right, Evil Tides of Saltmarsh slash Ghost of Saltmarsh Sun Group. My Sun Group is a bunch of criminals. They are my evil party, and they are living proof that evil adventurers can exist and be successful. They're currently in between jobs, and they are getting ready to start a new quest line, which promises to be extremely exciting. Assassinating a local leader, pretty cool. And they were returning to port after losing a beloved teammate and all sorts of other very serious, heavy stuff had been going down in the campaign. They were having a serious, heavy meeting or conversation here in the inn that they love. Their favorite inn, the Empty Net, owned by this lovable guy, Kreb Shanker, over here. And I felt like they needed something to sort of lighten the mood a little bit after all the heavy stuff that they had dealt with. And I have found in 26 years that humor has a place in every game. Even like Curse of Strahd or Avernus, games that are deliberately like life is pain, misery, sadness, like oppression, the darkness, evil, soul, all that kind of stuff. Um, People like there to be a little bit of light and laughter and joy. Even a scary movie will have a character who is there for comic relief. um, Even some of the most super serious books and movies you've read, there are those moments of humor that kind of give you an infusion of hope and joy so that you can make it through the harder times. I play Kingdom Death. I've played through like 3 or 4 campaigns of Kingdom Death, and that is a brutal game. Kingdom Death is like a Dark Souls-esque Civilization board game, Monster Hunter mashup. Look it up; it's amazing. Um, we laugh all the time, even though it's a super oppressive murder simulator in a hellscape of nightmares, because we have to. Because we have to have those moments to deal with the um, just the brevity, maybe that's the word, the just the heaviness of like all the crazy stuff, all the killing, all the death, all um the burden that we have to carry as the quote unquote heroes, as the protagonist, as the anti-heroes, whatever. So I felt like they needed something silly and goofy going on. So while they were getting ready to have this serious meeting, there's a fight pit here, and I decided that it would be cute if the party Pokemon decided to have their own like fighting tournament. So Willie, the whalehound, he goes in there and he challenges the other animals. The other animals get in there and they start fighting, and then everyone's like, "Oh, that's cute and adorable" or whatever. And then I let that kind of on the back burner for a little bit. Hey, we smile because the Pokemon are fighting. And then maybe like 10 minutes later, I had the front door get kicked open and a chicken showed up. And the chicken's miniature was set up so that it totally um, said like just a chicken, where the players could read it. So right away, you know that this is not just a chicken. And it kicks open the doors, and one of the doors breaks from the force that it kicked the door. And with a purpose, it walks up and it jumps into the ring, taking on all challengers. Now, if you look over here in the video, if you're watching the video, you can see that it's dropping, 30 attack roll with its peck for 25 piercing damage plus fire. Those of you in the know, you recognize that attack immediately, and you know what stat block we're working with here. It attacks with its wings, and somehow the wings do slashing damage. I don't know. It hits with its tail feathers, the whole deal. Because this creature was so absolutely ridiculous and absurd, we kind of threw all the rules out the window. So the wizard Jenna, she was able to turn her familiar into a giant ape, and so now there's a giant ape in the middle of this tavern fighting a fucking chicken, and it was so surreal and so goofy and so silly, and it really kind of lightened the mood and elevated the mood. And I think it reminded everybody that this is a game, and games are fun, and it's okay to laugh and have fun. And it sort of, we'd had a, we missed a game last week. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. And so 2 weeks away, and the last two games were both super serious stuff, like party death, and then they had a bookkeeping session. So having this opportunity where the tavern's being destroyed by this ridiculous Pokemon battle, people are using spells that are just blowing everything up. None of the NPCs are dying. None of the cute animal companions are dying. We invoked the Critical Role rule of sprinkles, where cute animals just can't be killed for some reason. And everyone was laughing and having fun, and it took a minute, right, for everybody to just sort of like calm down afterwards and get back on track to roleplay. And that was a welcome distraction. It was okay to kind of go off the rails a little bit. Now, I know that there's some campaigns out there that it's silliness all the time, and those are a lot of fun to play in, and it's totally cool. And I understand that there are games out there that are super serious, like we are here to tell a serious story. I want to say that even in those Curse of Strahd games, even in those Avernus games, even in those grim, super edge, grim, darkest timeline stories, there is always a place to occasionally sprinkle in some humor, some fun, and some silliness. So I definitely want just to remind my fellow DMs that that is it's an important tool in your toolbox, is being funny and being silly. Don't let it dominate your experience. Don't let it derail your entire session. But don't forget it, because it's important. All right. See you next video.